So we got it wrong. What do we do in that situation? How do we not brush it off? How do we take ownership and be accountable for that error? And how do we flip it around for our clients? Alright, so we were approached quite a few months ago by a developer client who was having a complex of duplexes finalised in the northern suburbs of Brisbane. Sent through some floor plans and we had a whole conversation presenting 2 properties in particular. We were going to do both of them, 4-bedroom, 1 living, not side by side, but they're within the same complex. Obviously, we're going to be targeting the same buyers. We didn't have a brief. We were giving design creativity and freedom. And normally when we do things like that, we like to make them unique. Obviously, we're going to try and target as many buyers as we can. So you'll see when we do 2 apartments in the same complex, we often go for same level but different feel. So that's very much what you will have seen us do here. So install happened and then we get a phone call once the developer's done a walkthrough. Now I guess my learning from this, and really important going forward, is if we have a brief, it's really, really important to know the brief, because I can't make magic happen if I don't know what I'm working with. The beauty is, what I want to show you, how we can make magic happen, even though we had already done the install, and how we're actually going to make magic happen in our business. So the client, it was the colour palette. The colour palette in both properties, it blended too much with the fixtures and the fittings within the property. He didn't love the timber. There was too much timber. He wanted the timber in the kitchen to stand out and be a feature. We'd gone really soft oaks and pastels in both properties, and where he was leaning towards more of a monochrome, more contemporary finish. Both were still targeted to the same level of buyer, but the compromise between first and second attempt are different. Now, if we go through both properties, so we're going to look at property number 1. We're going to call this soft pink coastal. Now this one, it's a square. Now for those who style properties, a property, an area that is a square is the most difficult for us to style beautifully with great proportions in the home, as well as ticking all the boxes of things you'd like to see. So for example, a TV in that area. Now, because it's a square, there isn't much movement and much space once you get the hallway down one side, the space to the kitchen up the other, the thoroughfare up to the stairwell, and then outside. It's very limited with where we can position pieces. So on the install day, we made the decision to open it out, and we actually sacrificed the entertainment unit. Now, we often do style with TVs, and I understand it's something we repeat all the time. If a buyer can't imagine where to put the TV, then why on earth are we here? We are there to take away imagination. If we can't figure it out, then there's not a chance a buyer will. So we really need to eliminate that. But when we're trying to balance it with, giving space and proportion to a square area, that's where they're the things we're playing around with. So we had a 1 meter round dining table, enough bottoms on seats for a 4-bedroom house, all of those boxes ticked. Now, if we go across to the other unit, it was elongated, so a much easier space as far as styling goes. We were able to get our 1.2 meter dining table in there. Now, in a space this big, we always use glass top surfaces, so you'll see there was glass top coffee table, glass top dining table, things opened out, and to make it feel nice and large, or larger than it is. 2.5 seater sofas to make sure that we've got a sofa that's generous in proportion. 2-seater feels too small, a 3-seater is too big for the space. So they're the sorts of things that we're looking at. We did the layout of this one a little bit differently, where we had the chair on the way in to make sure we had thoroughfare past for everybody past the coffee table to invite people to go outside. And I think the layout worked beautifully. Now, where the conversation came after the owner gave us a call was he was hoping for monochrome, and he himself is not a fan of glass top surfaces. He feels that it does decrease the perceived value of the property. Now, I'm not there to disagree with him. It's 100% on me for not pushing forward with a brief and trying to get that out of him more so than I should have prior to the installation. Great knowledge moving forward. We're not there to say, no, you're wrong. The glass top surface is going to open it out. The tables cost this much, and I could have gone down that path. I'm not there for that as far as this developer is concerned. He has an idea in mind. He knows his spaces. He knows the width dining table he can fit into that area. He's had it all spec'd out. So if we go to property number 1, we did a really big change in this property. Now we did still have to sacrifice some furniture. We bought the entertainment unit back. Again, it is because it is so important for buyers to be able to visualize that. We are not in inner city Brisbane where we can get away with formal spaces. We're a little bit further out where people want more relaxed spaces where they can see that they can comfortably fit a TV in there. So we bought an entertainment unit back. The sofa was then positioned opposite the TV, which there was a really big discussion about the potential for cutting it in half, the room in half. The way we got around that was by rejecting the coffee table. Again, that was a conversation with the client. It allowed thoroughfare between and behind the sofa, whilst not really distracting from the functionality side of what that property needed. The biggest change was actually getting a 6-seater dining table into that space. Now, we were really fortunate. We had some compact 6-seater dining tables here. It fit perfectly in the area. Now, the key here is not a rectangle dining table. We've used an oval dining table. It is only minimal changes, but it again allows for thoroughfare around that space. The curves in the dining table match the curves on the island bench, and it's all symbiotic as far as how it speaks to a buyer when they walk through the home. Colours, artwork, everything like that remained the same. There was just furniture changes that had to happen. When we look at the other property, again, the same thing happened. We kept the same style furniture, but we went with solid top surfaces. So we went with one of our brand new black dining tables from RML. It's gone there, it looks beautiful and it suits the space perfectly. Now, we've kept it as a 1.2 dining table. We've softened the chairs, we've gone for lighter fabric chairs, and the light's just rebounding off it differently. Now, both of the properties are monochromatic in colour scheme. Both of them feel the same, and we're targeting the same cohort of buyers, but that is how it's going to be marketed. And at the end of the day, we're here to make a marketable product, and we're not there to argue about the design side of things. So for me, it's incredibly important. I will have a conversation with a client. We're a referral-based business. They're not going to tell everybody about us if they don't love it and walk away as happy as we are. We walked away happy from the first install, walked away much happier after the second time we'd been on site to make a change, because I knew that the client was happy. Different to every other time, I actually sent this client photos. I sent him text messages of photos of the furniture that was going to go into the property to make sure that I met his expectation. I don't want to fall short on expectation twice in a row. As a business owner, we just can't do that. You can't afford for that to be a thing that happens. So made sure he loved it. There were brand new pieces that went in. It came up a treat. I cannot wait to see how it's received by market. It's going to be out for quite some time. There are a lot of units in that complex, and the plan is to move it from 1 to 1, which again, that ongoing continual work is something we really need to look after. And I put more pride and effort into the understanding of that than the design side of things.
Did this change cost extra for the client?
No, it did not. I do not charge if someone's ringing me and asks me to take extra furniture out than was quoted for, that's different. There's a redelivery fee and there's new furniture to hire, so yes, that's different. For example, if they add bedrooms on, add outdoor spaces, all that sort of thing. Now, if I've missed the mark and they don't feel like I've met what I said I was going to promise we would, I'm not going to charge them for that one, which is why I send photos, make sure I'm going to meet expectation. Now, if we install that second time, they're going to continue and ask for more changes that were discussed previously, then we start looking at charging for time. But everybody, I feel that every property deserves that one little bit of extra attention, and I'm not going to charge for it ever.
Is our take on a situation like this that we will always listen to the client, or will we compromise on that change?
A client will always feel heard. That's the biggest thing. I will ring a client and I will listen. Everybody deserves to be listened to. The volume of changes that happens, if there are things that some people go, I don't like the white candle, I want a pink candle. I don't like ceramic vases, I would like glass vases. There are changes that we will be less likely to do, but most of the time I'll meet somebody halfway, and we can have a really good conversation about why some of the things will remain the way they do. That's really infrequent. If we're going out on site, I may as well just make it absolutely perfect for how they would like to see it, within the realms of it's still if it's the client who's reaching out to us directly, I like to have a discussion with the agent to make, at the end of the day, it's making sure it reaches as many people as they want it to in the way that they want it to. So it's a group discussion, and I'm on board if they feel that we need to make changes. So normally this is a Foxy face-off, being two properties side by side, and normally we would have highlighted the amazing work that Jay did and the amazing work that Georgia did, and they still did do amazing work, but we really wanted to show, which I think is sometimes maybe a little hidden in the background, what happens when things don't go the right way and how we handle it, and how we convert those clients into our biggest fans. Because clients where you have a problem, it is the way that you handle it and the way that you solve that problem that gives you the potential for them to be amazing ongoing clients forever.